Hi there, welcome along to the evening show. On the show this evening, we're hoping to banish some of those January blues for you. Owen Corrie is here. He's a travel expert, and he'll be telling us where the sun is shining, even at this particular time. And also, we're going to be talking to a very interesting guy from ILAM. His name is Killian Fisher, and he'll be telling us why we should be looking out for white flags at our gymnasium. That's all to come on the evening show. Now, it's been a pretty miserable winter so far with the cold and the ice and the snow and the slush. So we all have a touch of the old January blues at the moment. So we're joined now by travel expert Owen Corrie, who's going to tell us that the sun is possibly shining some places in the world at this moment. Owen, is that true?
The sun is always shining somewhere. It's really a question of identifying where. Most of us in December, January, we all head off more or less the same group of islands, the Canaries and Madeira. Really, that's because our holidays are short, our winter breaks are short, we've 7 days, so we don't really like the notion of being 8 hours on a plane, because that's how long you're spending to get down to Middle East, Dubai, places like that. Yeah. It's really the 4 hours and 20 minutes to the four Canaries and Madeira, and that's what we do. What we've learned in recent weeks is, and last April through the ash cloud, is try and get a holiday that involves one flight. Do not try to connect with another flight through Heathrow. There's certainly a noticeable trend in that direction.
And is there still demand for the winter break with this recession?
Yeah, the demand has fallen. It's fallen probably around 15-20%. But two things have been happening which have complicated the issue. The number of seats, the traditional 4x4 bucket and spade package holiday we used to buy, spend a week and we buy it off a travel agent or a tour operator, that has certainly been declining dramatically. Right. Ryanair and Aer Lingus are now flying to the Canaries and to Madeira as well, and to Morocco. So that gives us better options. It gives us the options of going out on a Tuesday, coming back on a Saturday. We're not tied to that 7 day. The other thing that has happened is that the tour operators have reduced the capacity purely to keep their yield high. In other words, from the punter's point of view, to keep the prices high. That was because they came under serious stress over the last 2 years. That's evened out a fair bit. The really good news is that prices, while they crept up quite slightly in 2010, it's hard to read the situation now, but certainly long-haul prices for 2011 look like bartering down a little bit in the system.
But generally speaking, the day of sort of, you know, playing it cool with the travel agencies and leaving it to the last minute is gone, really, isn't it?
Yes, people were caught a wee bit last year. Like there was a game, a supply and demand game going on between the punter and the travel agent for years, and the punter was winning it. Punter was winning it largely because Michael O'Leary and Christoph Müller and his predecessors had come into travel agent territory. Airports we could only reach through a charter plane. We were now able to get there. So we had this situation where prices dropped quite dramatically. May, June, there were last minute specials. But that all ended. It ended really because of the demise of budget travel. It emerged in court budget travel were losing €50 for every holiday they sold. That meant the punter was winning. The punter hasn't been winning. To give you a good example, we would have been paying €450 this year for a 7 day break in the Canaries. We'd have paid €300 for last year. Changed a little bit, a couple of good specials, good deals come on the market. Right. Deals are always there. If you think laterally, you know, if you fish in the right water and the right time of the day and the right climate, you will get the good bargain. The prizes are still out there. It's just a little bit harder to find in 2010. It remains to be seen what happens in 2011. The Holiday World show at the end of January will give us a very, very good picture, because you get pretty good face-to-face access with all of the tour operators, with the tourist boards, with the hoteliers, and that contact, the real revolution in travel has been the contact between the people selling the product and the people buying the product without middlemen. It used to, you know, it wasn't ever just one middleman. Up to 7 different people were involved, and all marking up at 7% here and a 10% there and a 20% there. That has all changed. Power has come to the holidaymaker to shop and do the purchasing directly for themselves.
Yeah.
Travel agents have also been empowered by the internet. It's quite interesting. The middlemen they have to deal with were cut out, so they can use their bulk buying to put really good stuff on the market. And the big problem has been that direct contact, that conversation with a person with a real face, as opposed to an internet site or a call centre where you have to press button 1 for something and button 2 for the other. That has been diminishing over the years. That's why something like Holiday World gives you a chance to meet up face-to-face contact, and make the real holiday decisions for 2011.
Holiday World, an exciting prospect. And these big trade shows are not quite a thing of the past, but a thing of the Celtic Tiger, really. So this must have been difficult to mount, was it?
It's an interesting one that it's been going for a long, long time. It's been going since the 80s, and the record attendance came in last year. It's really part of what I'm talking about is, that while there's tons of information out there, we've never been in a situation where we've had such great access to information. That's been to our advantage. Long ago, travel agents had all the information, and they were the only ones who knew how to get the best prices for tickets. Any 12-year-old can go on the internet now and get more information than the travel agent used to have in the old days. Yeah. But the thing is using that information, and the fact that there's a Tower of Babel of information, this immense mess, congealed mess of facts and prices and everything like that. And to put a bit of shape on that, you really need to sit down and talk to somebody.
So, who's going to be there, specifically?
The tour operator.
Who's left to be there?
Yeah, a couple of the major tour operators in Ireland will be there. These are the guys who put the brochures together. Yeah. But more importantly, all the major tourist destinations will have big stands. Everybody can name them. Everybody in Ireland goes to Spain. We go to Spain in huge numbers. It's a 2-hour flight. We love it. Portugal, we love as well. We go in very big numbers. France is our second biggest market. Then you go down to, after Portugal, you go down to America, where there are 500,000 seats, tourist seats available to America next summer from all the different airlines, and then Italy. And then there's quite a lot after that. Very interesting. Watch the action in Turkey this year.
And is there anything there for the punter on the day?
Sales,
bargains?
Yeah, absolutely. Prices. Yeah. So, last year, they haven't actually announced everything that's happening, but last year we had €1 cruises for sale at Holiday World. Things like that are thrown up. They build their sales around it. The airlines build some of the sales, and the tour ops build the sales around it, and the hoteliers have incentives. It's not worth their while coming all the way to Dublin if they're just going to sit there and say, oh, you pay the full price for this. They're all going to work to get our money out of our pockets to get our bookings on the day.
Now, you mentioned budget travel, which was kind of like an icon for us heading off
Very
from the
much,
80s onwards, and they're no
Sad
longer
to
with
see
us,
its demise,
sadly.
yeah.
Gillian with the old sunglasses on the head.
On the top of the head. So she changed everything because it was out of the reach of ordinary people, and they moved in on the scene, and they did a terrific job. Yeah.
So, Holiday World, there is a website, which is www.holidayworld.show.com. So, and it's running from January 28th till 30th.
And it's in the RDS in Dublin, and come along, lots to do, lots of entertainment. It's not just about booking your holiday, just come along, get a flavour, and particularly this time of the year, you feel a little bit of sunshine inside in that hall.
You've talked us into it, Owen Corry. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned and join us in part 2. See you then.